Well, hello. Welcome to Phil Darst Art. If you may know me from Cooking with Phil Darst, I do cooking videos on YouTube, and I've also been an artist for years, off and on. Like I've said before, life gets in the way, and I've started and stopped and sold art and showed art and won some awards and done some things, and then life got in the way and I put it aside for a while. But now I'm inspired again to paint, and I'm going to show you one of my first paintings here today in gouache. So I'm in my studio, which is actually an office in my condominium here. It's nothing fancy. I don't have a lot of the things that a lot of artists do, but I've got paints and brushes, and I believe I have some skills that I'm going to share with you over time. So I'll show you a little bit more around my studio here, studio office, and then I'm going to start a painting to show you what I am going to do and see how you like it. See you in a few minutes. Well, here we are. This is my office in my condo, which is actually an extra bedroom I don't use. What I'm showing you is some of my pride and joy. Two of the things that I treasure the most are my granddaughters that live in Sarasota. So actually, I have 5 grandchildren, and they're all interested in art, but these are what the little people have done from the time they could hold a crayon or pencil, and I keep them on my wall every day to remind me of how sweet they are and how much they mean to me. So this is my studio. It's just an old desk I've got set up in here with some paint brushes and different types of paint. So I'm going to sit down in a minute and show you how we proceed on a painting. So I'll be right back. Caught me in my paint clothes. I didn't dress up for you today. This is what I paint in because I'm messy. And a lot of times I paint with acrylic, and you can't get out of clothes. So I've got this stuff on. This is what I painted my living room with anyway. So I'm going to start here today. Now, what I'm going to show you is I'm using a disposable palette. And a lot of people that do watercolor, they use trays and things like that. Since I paint with acrylics, I like the way that I can use paints right on the surface. And of course, the neat thing about gouache, as I say, it's a form of watercolor. You can put water in it after it dries, and it kind of brings it back to life, and you can repaint it. So I mess around on a palette like this. I've just got a real low cost set of paints here. These I picked up at a local art store. And I hate to tell you how much. I think they were only about $10, but they had a lot of colors. Now, I started out with another set about half this amount, but one of the reasons I like these is because they have metallic reflections in there. And when you see some of my dolphins and things that I paint, you might appreciate the metallic glow that they give. They give you a unique look. So I'm going to start out with the sky here in a minute, and I'm just going to put out a little bit of several colors, and we're going to wash them around on the paper, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're about ready to get started. This is 140-pound watercolor paper. It's not the best paper. It doesn't have a lot of texture on here. It's rather smooth, but I kind of like it. And I don't do a lot of watercolor. I've done it off and on. As I say, I usually do acrylics, but I want to do this. One of the reasons that I like watercolor, especially for seascapes, landscape, is it does a great job with the sky, because one of the first things that we're going to do is wet the paper. And I've just got a big old brush here that I'm going to wet the paper with, and then I'm going to lay the color on here and let it run around and let it kind of do its thing. That's the beauty of it. So we're getting this just about moist, And I get a hair. That's what some of these brushes, they leave a hair on there. And then we're going to get into the painting part. So this is the top. This is the sky. We've got beach down here. We're going to put in a little later with some people and some things on it. So over time, you're going to see how we progress with this. Now, I think the first thing is I usually use the light color. I know a lot of artists tell you the first thing to do is to paint with dark, but what I want to do is get some yellow, because this is going to be a Sarasota sunset. Now, I live near Siesta Key Beach, which is one of the top beaches in the world if you want to Google it. And one of the reasons is it's got the beautiful white sand. It's not the dirty old sand you get a lot of places, but it's just ground up shells almost like powdered sugar. And it gives a very unusual feeling out there. At night, people gather around to see one of the beautiful sunsets. Of course, we're on the west coast of Florida on the Gulf of Mexico. So people get out there and they watch the sun go down into the ocean, and as soon as it gets behind there, you'll hear everybody clapping. Some people leave and some people stay. So it's a big event around Sarasota. Sometime if you're on vacation, you'll probably want to come and see it. So there is one step. Now we're going to start working some color in that with another brush. And I'm going in here to some yellow ochre, and I'm just going to kind of let it work and run a little bit. Put some more water in here so that it moves around and kind of combines, and that's the effect that we get with watercolor and gouache. Now gouache is a little different, and it's a little bit more opaque. So that again is something that I kind of like about it. I just kind of move this around until I get something that's going to begin to look like clouds. And of course, as the sun begins to set, you'll see the other darker clouds come in, so we're going to put some of them in here now. And we'll work on them over a period of time. I'm just kind of blocking them in. I'm not really detailing them much. I just want to get the color on the paper. I'll put a little red in that because that's what we get to see down here, is when it starts blending in to the colors in the sky, and we're getting the yellows and the reds and all those good colors coming in here. So we'll put a little bit more red down near the bottom, and that's when the sun has set. It's already gone down. Everybody's been clapping. Some people are leaving, and some people are going to stay on the beach and enjoy themselves. So we'll just keep working on this a little bit. And I want to mix the colors in here because that's what happens with nature. You know, that's one thing I like painting. When I came to Florida, I said I was going to paint the beach. And I do that quite a bit, off and on. So I've got more time now to do it. I'm retired, been retired a long time, and I just want to let you have a chance to see what we see here. So we'll just put a little bit more cloud over here, and eventually we'll work on those, and you'll get to see parts of that. You'll see some of the paper flecking off there. That's going to dry off okay, and we'll try and make them a little bit more puffy. And of course we'll get some more of this red in there. I can be quiet for a minute and just go ahead and paint, and you watch and see how you feel about this. Now we'll probably work back into it a little bit later, and I'm just going to put some little clouds in the distance back here, because this is the way they be. And they kind of start sitting down in here. They're picking up the red that they get out of the sun. It's just on the past the horizon there. So that ought to be about part one. Now we'll come back a little bit later. I'm going to put in part of the beach, and you'll get a chance to see that. And over time we're going to put some other things in there that you'll find in Sarasota Beach, so I'll see you soon. Okay, I bet if you were watching closely, you notice I kept looking down at the floor. And the reason that I was doing that, I was looking at another painting that I had done of this same scene. I actually kind of liked it. This was acrylic, and I'm not really happy with the way the clouds turned out because I was experimenting with an acrylic medium at that time that didn't give it the look that I wanted, but the overall picture I like. So that's what we're going to emulate. One of the other things that you'll notice down here is I work from photographs a lot. I go out and photograph the beach, and the one I'm working on right now, let's see if I can find it down here. Where'd that go? I've lost my picture. There it is. So this is a photograph that I took one day when I was walking the beaches, and I decided I really liked that stand. If you don't know what that is a lifeguard stand. You notice though it wasn't done at sunset, so I'm going to do it in the setting sun and hope you'll enjoy it that way. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, so we're about ready here for the next step. Now, what I have here is a tracing pad, academic tracing pad, and I'm going to transfer what I've drawn onto our painting. Just to kind of show you how that works, here's some other things that I've done for some paintings. You might see this little boy online and some other places, but I draw it first, then I trace it. Then the next step is I take some blue chalk and go over the back of it here, like so, so that when I draw over it, it'll put blue on the paper, and then I got something to work with. I think you're going to notice I didn't mention it, but I take this down onto this piece of cardboard. I guess I could use a drawing table or something, but I haven't done that for a while, so I'm going to place it about where I think it ought to be, because I know some other things I'm going to put on here. I've got some tape on it, and I'll just get a plain old pencil out of the pencil box here and start tracing the lines or drawing the lines over, and if we're lucky they're going to be all blue when we're done. And then we'll start the process of painting over it and getting a step further. Some of this I'll do freehand, but this was done as a mechanical drawing. That's something else I took in school. My original career, I was an interior designer. Did a lot of work on the drawing board, so I'm in the habit of doing a lot of things in that manner. And I've used some mechanical devices to get this on paper, and then you're going to get to see what we do with them a little bit later, so I'll be back shortly. Okay, now we're getting down to the important part where we're going to put some people in. I finished off the little hut there and got that all done. It's kind of a silhouette at this point. So we're going to go in with some people. I've actually sketched them in here. And first thing, we've got a bird here that's checking out everything. There's not too much. Well, I'm back, and I think if you're around here often, you're going to find out I'm a better artist than I am a photographer, because my camera ran out of juice and it stopped and didn't get the whole thing. If you remember, we were starting to work on the bird over here, and the camera stopped on me because I needed a new chip. So I had to take some time out this afternoon, go out and buy me a new chip, and then come back, and here I am. So I'm just going to show you a little bit about what we did. And we put a little bit of shading under the clouds down here, because what happens is that in the daytime you notice that there's usually gray or blue under the clouds, and because the light's coming down from above. And here we're getting some reflection, as we've said, off of the sunshine, and the color, instead of being blue and gray, is going to be this color here. Now, we're mostly in dark and shadow. I did put a little bit of these colors into our hut here, our lifeguard stand, and then I painted the people kind of silhouette form. I may go ahead and do that again. I've got an idea. I may do this again in acrylic, and over time I'll show you. It's pretty simple, just painting these little silhouettes in, and I did it with the same color that we're using there. Now, I got the water in, a little bit of waves and some color in here, and then I touched up the sand and put a little bit more color into the sand there, and I put a shadow down here. Now, that's kind of debatable among some. Some would feel that that should be, a shadow should be darker or browner or something of that line. Actually, if we look into the color wheel, we'll find out that these colors here are about opposite, and I put it down there in that color because it really makes this all kind of a luminous look. And if I do teach art here, we'll get into that. You know, one of the reasons I'm doing this today, I'm considering teaching art. If I do, I'll start at the very basics and go back into color with the color schemes and how we mix, how we can take yellow and blue and make green, and take red and yellow and make orange, and then how we make mutations and do shading and all that. So that's maybe where I'm going with this. I don't know. As I've told you, I've done a cooking channel and it's kind of fun, but this is my passion. I enjoy this quite a bit more. I've even put my name down here, even though I'm not sure it's done yet. Did put a couple birds in here in a tree, and I got these people sitting there enjoying it. You know, people sit around here on Siesta Key Beach in lawn chairs and beach chairs and let the world go by, and the water pass them on, and watch the dolphins play, and we call them the sea cows down here too, and fish, jump, and don't have any alligators out here in the ocean. That's kind of nice. So what I'm going to do now is get ready to say goodbye. I hope if you enjoy this, you'll make some comments and subscribe to the channel. That's going to help me determine if I'm going to continue doing some more paintings for you. You can subscribe, and then if you hit the bell, you'll see the next one I'm going to do. Now, I don't know if I'm going to commit to doing one every week or not. I do those with the cooking channel right now, but I may taper that off in favor of this, because again, this is my main passion. So subscribe, make some comments down below, tell me what you like and don't like. If you're better than I am, that's okay. I might learn something from you. But I've enjoyed having you here today. I appreciate your stopping by and watching this video, and I'm going to quit now and edit it and get it out on YouTube as soon as possible, and you'll get a chance to see it, and I hope you'll share it with your friends and anybody else that likes art, and especially beach scenes. I will show you a few of the other things that I've painted. This is one of my dolphins. I favor dolphins, and again, if you notice his colors, that's why I bought that metallic paint. It's got a little bit of metallic look and glisten in it, and of course that's one of the days with our emerald green waters. I showed you the tracing there that I did of this little guy before he got on the canvas and started playing out there with his bucket in the sand. It's kind of a nice day for him to be out there. And this is one of them I'm not terribly proud of yet, but I'll be doing some more of these, probably on larger canvases. But I'm showing what people do on Siesta Key Beach, so I hope you'll come and enjoy us. And then I've got a little old sea turtle out here, a little baby turtle, and it's just probably coming out of the water. You know, that's one of the interesting things down here. They come out and they see the light, and it confuses them because they think it's the moon. They go toward the light. So a lot of times people come out there and turn them around, and of course they nest. I know I took my grandsons out there and watched them lay eggs a few times. Then here to show you I do things other than water, there's a still life I've done. So if I do any teaching, we'll probably do that. There was one time in my life I wanted to be an art teacher and a coach. And like I've said before, life gets in the way. I got sidetracked, but I'm back now where I want to be. So there's an exercise that I do, and you can do this. You know about anybody that can paint, that can write, can paint, and we can teach you to do that. And I just taught one of my granddaughters how to do sea painting, and took about 2 lessons, and she's pretty good at it. Here's a sailboat. This is one of my little ones. This is a 5 by 7 that I painted here. We got a sailboat in the water, and you can see the sun's just starting to drop down behind the thing. So that's some of what I do. You'll find some of it on. Well, I shut that off at a point there because I had a lot of dead air space. I had you looking at that blank whiteboard behind it, and I just wanted to come over and see that I can't be clean. I had to put something respectable on to go out and buy my chips, so I got that done and came back and shot the last video here, and I'm going to edit it now and then get it up there so you can see it. But I've enjoyed this. I've had a lot of fun, and I hope you have too. I hope you've enjoyed it and that you'll come back to Phil Darst Art. I'm not going to do any commercials now because I don't think YouTube's allows me to do that. I'm not sure their rules are kind of vague, and I don't want to get kicked off here too soon. But again, you'll find me at Phil Darst here, and I'll be doing a cooking video in the morning. I got something kind of interesting for those people who like to cook, and I'll probably put it on here and let you see it if you like cooking. And again, I may taper that off and do more of these because I've really had more fun and enjoyment out of this. And I don't know that I'll be doing one every week. I'm going to kind of get started and get used to it. But if you like it, as I said, give me something in the comments. Come back and see me. Look for Phil Darst Art, and we'll get a chance to get together again. Thanks for showing up. Goodbye for today.